So I decided that I wanted to get into the mortgage industry, and I got into it at the absolute wrong time, okay? Because if you know what happened in '08, I felt like the Wolf of Wall Street, I decided to make this quick video to kind of explain to you guys how I got into the lending industry, and maybe you can better understand as to why I am so deeply passionate about this industry, and especially education when it comes to brokers, and why I started launching this new course. So me, myself, my background, I'm one of those kids that I knew I did not want to go to college. I remember when my senior year in high school, I'm the youngest I've got 3 older sisters and an older brother as well. But I remember when my sisters were graduating, there's that senior year where the mom and the dad go and sit down with a counselor and you guys figure out what college you're gonna go through. I knew I wasn't gonna go through that process, okay? So I was very certain that, I wanted to run my own business. I didn't know what it is I was gonna eventually doing. At the time, actually, I had my own business. I started a small computer repair business called Geeks R Us. And our motto was, we're better than those other geeks. I was trying to take advantage of Geek Squad's business. But nevertheless, when I graduated high school, the point is, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew one thing is I did not want to go to college, okay? So eventually, graduated high school in 2007, I believe, 2007, 2008. So I got into the mortgage industry. Immediately after I graduated high school, there was this company, and eventually I started getting into the mortgage industry. And at this time, they didn't even require a license for you to get into the mortgage industry. This is before the market crash in '08. So everybody was a mortgage broker, and real estate prices were going up. It was a very hot market, okay? So I decided that I wanted to get into the mortgage industry, and I got into it at the absolute wrong time, okay? Because if you know what happened in '08, of course, the market crash or deep recession, we got into it. I felt like the Wolf of Wall Street. Have you seen that movie, Wolf of Wall Street? That scene where he gets his license and he's able to now start trading, and the market crashes as soon as he gets his license. That's kind of how I felt. But just like the guy in the movie, I stuck with the industry. I decided to learn a little bit more about the different products that are available at the time. And basically, we had a lender list. When I started, it was like this thick, maybe even 2 of them. And eventually, all the lenders were going out of business. Countrywide went out of business. Countrywide pretty much serviced about, a quarter of the loans in the United States. It was a big company owned by Bank of America. Lehman Brothers went down. I mean, it was a big mess. So a lot of banks just stopped lending. The subprime market was basically non-existent. And at the time, I got into the only product that was available in the marketplace was FHA. It stands for Federal Housing Administration. It's a product for first-time home buyers. And you had to meet so many different guidelines. So I started learning FHA. They introduced this product out there called the FHA Streamline Refi, where it allowed people to just refinance with basically no closing costs. You didn't need an appraisal, you didn't need anything. It was just for you to refinance and lower your rate. And clearly, rates were much lower after post-2008 market crash than they were before. So a lot of people could benefit from refinancing. So I made a lot of money just doing refinancing, learning the FHA, and eventually Dodd-Frank came with the Dodd-Frank bill and put in so much regulation in the industry that eventually I decided that this wasn't really for me. They limited how much money you could charge. It just made so many other additional things that the loan officer had to go through. And this in the real estate industry, it's a hustle industry. You have to get a client, and it takes time before you actually close the deal. And when you're limiting how many points I can charge, the median household at the time, I'm a new broker, the median household was like 150. We're not talking about 2022 prices. We're talking about 2008 prices. So if you finance a house for $150,000 and you make 3 points out of that, and maybe you got like a 60-40 split with your company, you're not making that much money, is the point that I'm trying to make. So eventually it just didn't make any sense to stick in the residential mortgage industry. It was eliminated for just banks to do it because these people were getting paid salary. But nevertheless, I came back to Arkansas. When I graduated high school, I moved to St. Louis. But eventually I decided to come back to Arkansas. And when I came to Arkansas, I was looking for a job, and there was this company, and again, we're talking about how I got into business lending. Okay, there was this company that, say that they offer business loans, and they say that they had a product. I went to their website, they had a product that mentioned that they have a business credit line product, and they use stated income. None of the income needed to be verified. Now, Again, if you're from the financial industry, you understand where I'm going with this. That word after '08 was almost an evil word to use. You could not say stated income. So I was very curious. How do you have a product where somebody can get $50,000 to $100,000 in business lines of credit, that the lines of credit do not report to your personal income? Brand new businesses could apply for this and qualify. It helps you build business credit. There was no time in business requirement, and there is no income verification. I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's a really great product. I have to learn more. I told myself that I don't care what happens. I have to get a job at this company. I went ahead and I got a job at that company. I used to bother the hiring manager pretty much daily to hire me, and they went ahead and they hired me as a credit consultant. And all the borrowers that did not qualify for the business credit line product that they had, they would give them to me so I can learn to remove negative items off their credit report. Now, trust me when I say I had never done any kind of credit repair work, okay? But I'm one of those individuals that if you give me 24 to 48 hours and a computer with Google, I'll figure out what I need to do, okay? So eventually I learned really well how to, the credit consulting industry. That's one of the things that I offer in our course. You have to learn how to fix credit if you're gonna be a really good and effective business loan broker. You have to understand how to work on people's credit. So eventually I learned how to fix people's credit. I started going to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? And I was very tactical about this because I wanted to get done with all my work by about, noon, 1 o'clock. And I would start now going around and learning and listening about what the other brokers were doing. I wanted to learn about this stated income product. I was very curious behind it, okay? So eventually I figured out exactly what they were doing, what they were offering. I saw how the company works, and I was very intrigued. This was just basically what I was doing before with mortgages, but with a different twist. I wasn't restricted on just one product because I was just doing owner-occupied residential mortgages. And I'm like, okay, that was great, and I loved what I was doing. I saw the effect I had on the industry with helping people, especially with some people, minorities that didn't know that they could qualify for a mortgage. I would educate them on that. So I was like, wow, if I can do the same thing on the business side, there is no restrictions. That's one thing I love. There's no licensing requirement in this industry as long as you can learn this stuff. And the profit potentials is much higher, and you have so many different products that you can offer your clients. So I was like, wow, this is something that I got to really get into. So long story short, I've never been fired at a job. My first son, I know, just the story changes so quickly, right? So my first son, his name is Kylan. He was born on June 2011, okay? So I was still working at that job. I think I started working there right around May, right before my son was born. So when my son was born, it was just so stressful. Me and my son's mom was not getting along, and things were just a bit difficult, okay? That's all I have to say. So eventually I got fired. And when my boss fired me, he said some of the strangest words, and actually, it's what led me to where we are here today. When he was firing me, he said, "Brian, have you ever thought about starting your own business?" And I said, "No, I haven't." Well, long story short, this was August 24th, 2011, when I got fired, and August 25th, 2011, I started Pennington Consulting Group, okay? Didn't know what to do under so much stress with me having a brand new baby that I got to take care of, a mouth to feed. My son's mom is looking at me like, you think this is a good time for you to start your own business? It was a wild time, okay? It was not the right time to, to do that, So, but I just knew that this is what I was really passionate about. I wanted to take charge of my own life. I got tired. I'm not knocking 9 to 5s. I did 9 to 5s before I started my own business, but, and I'm blessed to say that I have never had to clock in or even get a paycheck since 2011, okay? August 24th, 2011 to be exact. So I'm blessed to be where I am. In addition, this is, as I'm explaining to you, there is just so much that I get from doing this where on one side, I help people that have challenges. At the end of the day, as a business loan broker, majority of the clients that you're gonna be getting is people that have challenges getting access to financing. Startups, people with credit challenges, because the people with great credit and have money, they're going to the bank. The bank is attracting them to come to them. They will just give them money for free. So you're getting into the industry where you're dealing with a lot of people that think things are very difficult or impossible. And you're here, you tell them that, hey, we can make this happen. That's why our fees are strictly based on how much we get the client funded. We make a success fee, an origination fee, and you only make that money once the deal closes. So I really love this structure. It's a very win-win, yin-yang. I love the fact that I could offer a variety of of different products in the business side, and I loved business in general. I've been passionate about business since I was 16, since I was young. If you heard my story, my first business is 16. So I love that aspect of it. And on the other side, from a selfish standpoint, that's as far as how I could serve other people. But from a selfish standpoint, I was like, I could really be in charge of my time. Okay, especially with what I was going through with my son and everything. I'm the guy that I want to work at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I want to be done by noon. I don't want to do anything else after noon. Okay, if you've known me personally, you know what I had to go through. There's some videos on here as far as my personal life. Probably the one that I paid lawyers with pennies. You want to look it up. It's a very popular video. But there are certain things that I went through life that I think we all go through sometimes. Be situations with family or whatever it is, that it helps to be self-employed, to have your own business that can feed you, where you're not having to go to work and having to deal with, people out there and you're just not in the position to. There's times that I went through some personal things where I took a month or two off to focus on myself. So this business has allowed me to do that. And that's why I think it's a great opportunity. One of the best ways to make money at this time, it's really quiet when you look up these Forex guys. I was just all over social media a couple of months ago. It's really quiet. You're not finding a lot of these crypto guys that were just everywhere, every single ad. They're not talking. Even real estate flippers, okay? It's not the best time to invest in real estate. So, I've looked at every single side hustle, any single investment that you'd be ideal right now. And this is the business that I started, the first especially in 08. That is when I got into this business. And honestly, when there's tough times in the marketplace, business goes up. When there's good time in the marketplace, business goes up. There's never a time that people don't need money. They say money is money's not everything, money is the root of all evil, but I say it's pretty goddamn important in this world that we live in, okay? It's up there with air. Okay, if you don't make no money in this world that we live in, you're basically not gonna be able to survive. So that's my short story, okay, of why I got into this industry, how I got into in this industry, from high school, me trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, and why I want you guys to understand why I'm very passionate about, this is some other addition, and I'll end with this. The mortgage industry is something that I really loved, but you had some scamish people that came into the industry all the way from the top, from the Lehman Brothers with the bank investors and the different products that they made that were just, CDOs and mortgage-backed securities and whatever, all that crap that just ruined the market, all the way down to, brokers that, were making fake bank statements and doing things as such. They just ruined the industry for me. I'm seeing very similar with this business loan brokering. Especially when it comes to the training that I've seen. You've seen what I did with the Oz's program. And I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be exposing each one of these companies that are offering this training. And I'm gonna talk about the good that they're offering. I'm also gonna talk about the bad, or, some things that we can do better. Because I don't think all of them are scams. I haven't gone through all of their different courses, which I will. But, I'm at least, now they're gonna find out what I'm doing. So if I can help this industry, because I'd hate for heavy regulation coming to this industry and just ruin it for everybody. It would make it impossible for lenders to get clients, because lenders rely very heavily on us brokers. We're here to educate borrowers as far as the different options of alternative lending that is out there. So it's vital for this industry, just like the residential industry. Right now, it's just majority of people that offer loans is just banks, commercial banks. It used to be, regular mortgage companies, or there's just very small amount of mortgage companies out there. It lessens competition. You want to have a lot of different options. It's what make the marketplace better, especially in this capitalistic world that we live in. Anyway, I'm talking too fast already. We're moving into something else. That's my story, how I got into this industry, and hopefully that can resonate with you based on where you are. Independence. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about cancel your 9 to 5. You're gonna work your ass off when you start working as a loan broker. All this stuff that when you start being independent and you got your own business, especially when you're starting out, that you can just be on the beach drinking on some pina colada all day. That stuff is not real, okay? That doesn't happen, okay? Unless you get lucky on like a crypto trade or something. It doesn't happen like that. You're gonna work your butt off. You gotta get your business to where it needs to be, where it can sustain itself, But you can get to that point where you don't have to work that hard. Okay, that you can actually take some breaks and still make money, So I think this is an excellent industry to get into, especially as a young individual, or even if you're an old individual, if you're thinking about retiring, and instead of even buying some franchises that come with so much risk, start a business like this. Well, anyway, that's my time, that's my story. I'm gonna stick to it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining me today, and you guys have a good rest of your day.